afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Nicole Matthews. Marco Atem will have a look at sports later in the show. What can we expect?
Nicole, we have more highlight. Last night, Calgary Flame lost to Utah and Toronto Raptors also lost to Chicago Bull, and Calgary Headmen also beat Saskatoon Blade. So I will have full podcast later in the show.
Sounds exciting. Shauna Lewis is following our weather later today. It was a chilly morning. How's it feeling out there, Shauna?
Thanks, Nicole. It is quite chilly here in Calgary today. We are seeing a high of 1 and a low of -5, which is quite different than what we saw last year with a high of 17 degrees on this exact same day. Calgary has seen other record-breaking highs and lows, like back in 1992, we saw a record-breaking high of 24 degrees, and back in 1954, we saw a record-breaking low of -30. It is expected to snow for the next couple days here, so grab those jackets and stay warm. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Shauna. Now, here's a look at today's top stories. After a snowfall warning Tuesday night, people around Calgary woke up to dangerous and icy roads. The snowfall led to risky driving conditions with reduced visibility and slippery roads. Calgary police reported 56 collisions overnight. Roads throughout Calgary won't clear up anytime soon because the snowfall warning is still in effect. 15 to 30 centimeters of snow is expected by Thursday afternoon. A woman in her 50s is dead after a serious two-vehicle crash on Stony Trail Tuesday night. The victim, in a white sedan, was found with serious injuries and taken to the hospital, but later died. The Calgary police say her vehicle was hit by a pickup. They are investigating the possible role of equipment attached to the pickup truck involved in the crash. The road was covered with ice and snow. Calgary didn't get as much snow as originally forecast, but it was enough to keep city road crews and drivers on their toes. Anand Unatan has been covering the snow events. He joins us outside. It's been quite a day.
Indeed, it has been quite a day. Calgarians are getting adjusted to this new round of snowfall, and drivers are still thinking about the adjustments. Winter tires are to be decided, and they want to keep it intact. Snowfall began overnight on Tuesday and will continue throughout the day until Thursday. Calgary police say a total of 56 crashes, including 8 with injuries, happened from midnight to 8 a.m. City of Calgary crews are responding to major roads first like Glenmore and Crowchild.
Obviously, with these types of storms that you see in the spring time of the year, the road temperatures are a little higher, so that does help with our clearing efforts. But we do have a full complement of crews out there, and we're responding to the snow. And right now, our focus is major roads.
Meg Hickey encouraged drivers to be prepared for winter road conditions, including keeping an eye on overnight and daytime temperatures.
Yeah, so obviously the city of Calgary does encourage motorists to winterize their vehicle, and that can include winter tires. In terms of when we recommend winter tires be put on, it's obviously when you have those temperatures, below zero consistently.
Winter tires help gain extra traction during a snow event. Many drivers say there is no definite answers when to change tires, as temperatures usually are unpredictable.
Well, it all depends on how much you drive, but in my experience, they last 2 to 3 years if you keep them on through the summer. The better thing would probably be to change them every season once you get to spring, summer.
For the average person and the average driver in Calgary, yes, I would recommend to run winters over all seasons. I think you need to be very experienced driving in the winter to run all seasons.
April is when many drivers switch their winter tires, but this year they may wait a while longer. And the best course of action is to wait until temperatures hover above zero between daytime and overnight. You can expect this is the last snowfall squall you can expect this season, so some drivers are hopeful. Back to you, Nicole, in the studio.
Anand Unatan reporting live from SAIT campus. Driving in all winter can be really hard on your car. All the snow and ice, frost heaves, and potholes can cause damage. Noah Abel has more on spring safety tips for your car.
It's time to get our cars ready for summer driving conditions. This doesn't only mean changing tires, it also means repairing problems coming from driving in harsh winter conditions. The roadside assistance trainer with AMA explains the main car component affected by the winter season.
So one thing that people want to check is perhaps their wheel alignment, especially if they've been going over a lot of really rough, uneven ground, have slid into anything or bumped curbs, anything like that.
At Cal Tire, they see this type of damage all the time while cars are up on the hoist. Manager Brett Morley says all that wear and tear affects a lot of other parts as well.
Steering, suspension, tires, the rims themselves would probably be the biggest components that are affected by the winter driving.
A lot of car damage comes from potholes. Calgary road crews filled almost 37,850 potholes in 2024.
I'd say a lot of it is the warm-up and freeze cycles that we have in Calgary. They're quite frequent.
Back at Cal Tire, Brett Morley has some tips on what to do to avoid potholes and keep your car in good shape.
First thing is just keep safe distance between you and the vehicle in front of you so you can analyze what's coming. The other is proper tire inflation, making sure that the tire is properly inflated so that the tire can absorb the impact.
Driving in winter conditions can be hard on your vehicle, especially since winter seems to be sticking around this year. Make sure to do all the repairs needed and make sure to follow the safety tips of experts. For State Newsfile, I'm Noah Abel.
The federal election is only 26 days away, and there is more of an effort to get young Canadians to vote. Elections Canada has a plan to boost engagement among people 18 to 24. State reporter Jack Rosa has more.
According to Elections Canada, under 50% of young electors voted in the 2021 federal election, lower than any other age group. State Newsfile surveyed a dozen state students and 60% say they will vote in the next election, while the rest said they didn't know a lot about the election. For some, there was a common reason for voting.
Just to have my voice and opinions heard, even though none of the parties truly fully represent what I want, it's still better to vote. It's better for everyone to at least have some of their opinions heard rather than just have none of their opinions heard at all.
I'm voting because I'm really excited to have a chance to have my voice be heard. It's my first time that I actually can vote, and I think it's really important that everyone use their voice and votes how they want to be represented.
And others had differing reasons.
Because I don't want our government to end up the same as the states, and I see that's a very similar thing that could happen.
I'm voting because I think it's really important to vote. It's kind of a castaway if you don't.
To maybe get a better change for myself and my fellow citizens.
In response to the low voter turnout in 2021, Elections Canada is launching a targeted digital campaign aimed at boosting voter engagement among young Canadians. The campaign will increase awareness about voting, encouraging people to vote, and driving social media interactions on platforms like X, Snapchat, and Spotify. The campaign will continue up until the day of the federal election, which is on April 28th. For State Newsfile, I'm Jack Rosa.
Late today, U.S. President Donald Trump announced new tariffs on so-called Liberation Day. Canada will now face 10% tariffs on all products sold to the U.S. Trump said the U.S. will charge nations approximately half of what they are and have been charging the U.S. in tariffs. He says there will be a 10% baseline tariff on all trading partners, high tariffs on some individual countries, and a 25% levy on all foreign-made automobiles, including Canada, starting at Wednesday at midnight. Trump called the tariffs on foreign goods their declaration of economic independence. As Canada and Alberta deal with more U.S. tariffs, there is new pressure to put tariffs on our oil and gas. A recent poll from Nanos Research shows Canadians are in support of this idea. Reporter Colton Young has more on the story.
Throughout the trade war, Canada is yet to put tariffs on natural resources. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith urges Canadians to understand the lasting effects it'll have on Eastern Canada.
People need to look at a map, see where Eastern Canada gets its oil and gas from, and realize that it's a very, very dangerous game to be talking about tariffing energy and to talk about turning the taps off.
Nanos Research surveyed Canadians about this issue and found that people want to fight fire with fire.
You can't show up to a gunfight with a knife. And if we don't even have some levers to deal with the United States, we will just get crushed.
Students at SAIT have mixed opinions on the tariffs, some being concerned about what may come next.
I think it's a dangerous game. I think that it's kind of like a power move from Trump with everything with the tariffs. So I kind of think that maybe if we do kind of retaliate with tariffs, it could just escalate things and it could make things worse. So I'm not really sure. I'm definitely not an economist, but I'm a little worried. I'd be a little bit worried about retaliating with more tariffs.
I feel like we should put tariffs on oil and gas just because the states, on how they've been treating us, especially as being neighboring countries next to each other.
Honestly, I agree with it. If you ask me, Canada, we have our stuff, right? And especially if we're going to be tariffed ourselves and we have things that the U.S. wants, then we should definitely tariff it.
After speaking with SAIT students, it's clear that they agree that Canada should use their strongest resource as fuel in this trade war versus the United States. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Colton Young.
After a public outcry, Alberta Health Services canceled a recent policy change. On March 17th, a public memo announced, starting on April 1st, food would no longer be provided to non-inpatient areas. The end to food supplies included clinics for children's cancer treatment. Patients were encouraged to bring their own snacks or money for food. This memo also said hypoglycemia kits would not be provided. Although the recent announcement said the policy wouldn't happen, during a news conference on Tuesday, Premier Danielle Smith referred to it as a pause. SAIT's award-winning culinary arts department has yet another honor to add to the list. One instructor has been rewarded for her dedication to students in the kitchen. Elliot Zan has more on Chef Romina.
Chef Romina is an instructor and chef at SAIT's Culinary Arts Department. She has been cooking since before she could remember while living in Mexico. It didn't take long until her passion for the kitchen expanded into the classroom and she began teaching, landing her first job in 2007 back in Mexico. 18 years later, Romina's dedication to her dishes and students has resulted in winning the Educator of the Year award for 2024-2025.
Teaching, it's so hard, and for you to be recognized when you do your job or you think you're doing your job right, that means a lot to me.
The award was presented by the Calgary Academy of Chefs and Cooks, who honor one chef each year for their commitment towards the future of cooks in the city. Chef Romina's time leading up to the award came nothing close to easy, from traveling all over Mexico teaching, eventually landing in Calgary in 2022. Now she plays a key role in the development of future chefs and bakers, while keeping her heart in the right place throughout.
I always say, students, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them, which I really believe.
Romina keeps her classes open for all, creating a welcoming environment with her humor and undeniable expertise.
Very caring, understanding of everything, takes nothing too seriously.
There is no wonder why SAIT is ranked first in Canada for hospitality and tourism.
With instructors like Chef Romina, state-of-the-art facilities, and pastries like this, there's no doubt that the future of culinary is bright in Calgary. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Elliot Zan.
If you missed any April Fool's jokes, SAIT had a good one. On April 1st, the school said they are starting adult summer camps. For ages 18 to 99, SAIT summer camps for adults include pizza parties and before and after care. While school is out, play with Lego, create skincare, and learn how to manage your mortgage. It might be disappointing if they fooled anyone looking to join. However, they do offer summer camps for kids. Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Shauna Lewis has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Exams are coming up, and SATSA wants you to not only feel good, but look good. That's why they are bringing in local services to pamper students on April 3rd. Are you in need of groceries? SATSA is offering fresh foods for students at a low cost in the Peer Support Center on April 8th from 10:30 to 1:30. Take a break and relax by visiting the cute puppies in the Stangrad building on April 9th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. SATSA is hosting a friendship circle for crochet lovers in the Peer Support Center on April 9th. The event will provide snacks and refreshments. It's time to empower. Celebrate Women's Day at the BMO Center on April 5th and 6th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Admission is $14 to $15. Calling all train lovers, a super train event is being held at the Olympic Oval on April 5th to April 6th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Do you have event tickets you can't use anymore? Donate them to Kids Up Front. Kids Up Front gives tickets to deserving kids and their families. They get your gift in the hands of kids through their community agencies across Calgary. They believe all kids should have access to experiences like arts, culture, and sporting events. These tickets provide an opportunity for participants to make memories and create unforgettable experiences. Kids Up Front provides more than just a ticket. They provide an experience.
Find your new best friend at the Edmonton Humane Society. Whether you're on your own or a part of a busy household, the Edmonton Humane Society has the perfect match waiting just for you. Every wag of a tail is proof of the meaningful bonds created at the Edmonton Humane Society. Their adoption program connects you with furry companions who are eager to share their love with you. Visit their website at edmontonhumanesociety.com. Find your perfect match.
I'm Shauna Lewis, and here are your weather updates. Over in Western Canada today, we are seeing some clouds in Vancouver at 7 degrees. In Edmonton, -5 with a mix of sun and clouds. Down in Regina, also cloudy with a -1. And over in Winnipeg, 0 degrees with lots of clouds as well. In Eastern Canada, Toronto, we're seeing clouds 1 degrees. In Montreal, very sunny today. At -4. Over in Halifax, lots of sun as well at 0 degrees. And in St. John's, 0 degrees and lots of clouds. So it's looking pretty good over in Eastern Canada today. Next, we have the resorts. Here are your resorts weather for the day. 13 degrees and partly cloudy in Palm Springs. It is cloudy and hot in Barbados at 30 degrees. Light thunderstorms at 29 degrees in Cancun. Cloudy in Honolulu and 22 degrees. Orlando is sitting at 27 degrees with lots of sun. Conditions in Vegas are sitting at 9 degrees with clouds. Currently with some flurries, winds north 20 kilometers per hour. We will be seeing more snow tonight, so grab your jacket and scarves and stay warm. In Alberta today, we're seeing lots of clouds in Alberta today. Over in Banff, they're sitting at -2. Up in Grand Prairie, we're seeing lots of sun, but they're sitting at -9. In Fort McMurray, -10 and lots of clouds over there as well. In Edmonton, mix of sun and cloud at -5. In Red Deer, -4. In Calgary, we're seeing lots of clouds, -5. It's going to stay chilly for the next couple days here. Down in Lethbridge, -1 with some clouds. And in Medicine Hat, 0 degrees with some clouds. Tonight in Calgary, we will be seeing some more snow with a low of -5. Tomorrow, expect more snow as well. Things will start to warm up on the weekend, Friday, bringing some sun with a high of 3 and a low of -2. Saturday and Sunday are bringing back the double digits with a high of 14 and a high of 16. Next up, we're going to throw the sports, but we have commercial.
You ready? Let's do it.
To have the cleanse. Davis on the flank. Davis on the side. TP coming in. Faker looking to make the play. He gets Ruler. Owner goes in. Yes. And again, the combos are clean. The hostile takeover.
Feel the excitement in esports together. Learn more about local esports events on esportsalberta.ca.
kids shouldn't have to worry about where they get their next meal. That's why Brown Bagging for Calgary Kids is so much more than a lunch program. It's a community of volunteers, donors, and friends, taking meaningful action to connect kids through healthy food. With over 600 volunteers who help feed over 6,500 kids every school day, helping students get the food they need to reach their full potential. For more information on how you can get involved, visit brownbaggingforcalgarykids.org.
Welcome back to St. Newsfile. Marco Atem is here to talk about the latest sports highlights. What's going on, Marco?
Nicole, as I said earlier on, we have more mixed reaction in the city. Last night, Calgary Flame lost to Utah, and Saskatoon also lost to Calgary Headmen, and then Toronto Raptors also lost to Chicago Bulls. And I will have full podcast right now. The Utah Hockey Club secured a 3-1 victory over the Calgary Flame on Tuesday night, marking the second straight win. Kelvin Sterling and Brad Highton scored for Utah, with Clayton Keller adding an empty net goal. Carol Melika made 32 saves. Ramos Anderson scored for Calgary, while Dustin Goff had 25 saves. The Flame have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Utah improved to 8 points out of a playoff spot, while Calgary falls 6 points behind the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Kevin Stenland and Brad Highton scored for the Utah Hockey Club, with Clayton Keller adding an empty net goal. Ramason Anderson scored for Calgary. Carol Melika made 32 saves for Utah, while Dustin Goff had 25 saves for the Flame. With only 8 games left in the season, the numbers did not look good for the Flame. They are still 7 points out of the second wildcard position behind Minnesota. Sam Algoroni take a look at the Flame playoff chances.
Calgary Flames fans are feeling the pressure as the team fights to stay in the playoff race after a tough 3-1 loss to the Utah Hockey Club. With the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild pulling ahead in the standings, their postseason hopes are slipping away.
To make it, it's going to be tough now. Like going into last night, I still had some optimism. You know, if the Blues would have lost and the Flames would have picked up 2 points, then all of a sudden they're 3 out with 2 games in hand. Now all of a sudden they're 7 back of the Blues with 2 in hand, but that's a pretty big gap. So I think if there is a team they're going to catch now, it kind of shifts over to Minnesota.
Flames fans have some mixed feelings on how they think the team should go about the current situation.
Oh, I mean, of course, I think they should always keep pushing. You never know how the playoffs are going to go.
I'm pretty excited to see of the future for the Calgary Flames of the playoffs.
I think the season's been really exciting to watch, just because we weren't really expecting there to be even challengers this season.
I'd love to see another good playoff push. I love this city when it's playoff time. Everybody's in their jerseys. Come game day, the city has a new electric life to it. You know, the Red Mile gets lit up. It's a fun time when the Flames are in playoffs, and I miss that.
I think the playoff push is a good idea, and it was at the time, but considering current state, points and the standings, I don't know if it's really going to happen.
The Calgary Flames will take on the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow night at the Scotiabank Saddledome as they try to collect a crucial 2 points in their playoff hunt. For St. Newsfile, I'm Sam Garani.
The Calgary Headmen took a commanding 3-0 series lead over the Saskatoon Blade with a 4-1 win at the Saskatchewan Center on Tuesday night. David Adanaski gave Calgary the lead in the first period with a tip-in of a shot from Carson Wetkas. Saskatoon responded in second with a power play goal from David Lewandowski to tie the game, but that was the last goal the Blade would score. The Headmen regained control with Tanner Howe scoring his second goal of the playoff to give Calgary the lead. Ben Kilden added another on a breakaway, and Connor Highston sealed the win with a third period goal of a rebound. David Adanaski opened the scoring for Calgary with Tanner Howe, Ben Kelden, and Connor Hyben adding goal for Saskatoon. David Wandowski scored for the lone goal. The Canadian Football League has named head of the STSN, Stewart Johnson, as the new commissioner. Stewart Johnson has been the president of the Sportnet in Canada since 2010. In January, Johnson was ranked as a number 57 on the top 100 people of the power and influence in hockey. Johnson is 54 years old and from Ottawa and Toronto. He will replace Rainy Ramsey at the end of this month. The Chicago Bulls secured a 37-111 victory over Toronto Raptors on Tuesday night, locking in a spot in the Western Conference play-in tournament. Kobe White led the Bulls with 28 points, Talon Tusker added 27, and Nick Kolka had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists in Chicago 137-118 win over the Raptors. Jacoby Welter and Emmanuel Quigley each scored 17 for Toronto. The Bulls took control in the first quarter, finishing a 30-13 run and leading to 70-57 halftime. Ton Tusker scored 18 points in the second half to help extend the lead. The Raptors, who were on a 4-game win streak, saw their playoff hope end with this lose. Kobe White led the Chicago Bulls with 28 points, Talon Tusker added 27, and Nick Cole contributed 22 points to rebound and 7 assists for the Toronto Raptors. Kobe Well and Emmanuel Quick each scored 17 points. Canada defeated Sweden with 8-6 on Tuesday with a strategic game planned to force the defending world champion into key high-pressure shot. Brad Jacob and his team capitalized on a missed-hit attempt by Sweden Nicholas Eden, taking control of the game. The win came at the Temple Garden Center in the Moscow, Saskatchewan. Canada followed up with a 4-2 victory over Italy. Joel Rosano in the evening draw, improving their rebound record to 5-1. Jacob and his team, known for their early start, are set for the demanding schedule this week with a four consecutive 2 games, including session for the first 3.
That was awesome, Marco.
That is a sport for me.
Thanks so much for filling us in. Coming up after the break, we're going to introduce you to a hot new trend in car restorations. We'll be right back.
What are you doing?
I'm bored and hungry and I have to work soon.
Why not go to Lunchbox Theater?
Theater? That's too expensive.
It's much cheaper than most.
For 50 years, they've been showing one-act plays made by local writers. And since they're right next to the Calgary Tower in the Vertigo Theater, you can grab a meal from nearby and eat it at the show.
So, what do you think?
Check out the website to see current productions, book tickets, or donate to the arts.
Waiting, and Shauna Lewis is back for another look at the 5-day forecast.
Yes, Nicole. Tonight we will be seeing some more snow with a low of -5. Tomorrow, snow again with a high of 1 and a low of -8. On Friday, we're seeing some sun with a high of 3 and a low of -2. That's all for weather. It's getting really warm this weekend. Are you guys excited?
I'm so excited. Well,
Perfect.
have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching St. Newsfile.